All right, thanks, folks, for joining us on the V2VG video podcast.
Yeah.
On the road again. It's been a while.
We say that every time.
We do say that a while. All right, I got to plug in how to get to our client's house, and I have it saved.
Most recent, yeah.
It is 17 minutes.
So
I'm gonna put this here. I don't know if it's blocking.
I don't think it does. I don't think so.
Let's see. You tell us if it's blocking. If not, you'll never see. If it does block, you'll never see this. So don't worry about it. If it doesn't block it, you will see it. So we've got a lot of stuff going on right now. There's no question about that.
You look good on this side too.
I look good on all sides.
In the dark. Yeah. So recently we were involved in a stand down in Manchester with New Hampshire Easter Seals and Harbor Care and a bunch of other places, and
you got interviewed by WMUR, right?
That was so strange. Yes.
And you weren't expecting that.
No, because the gentleman overheard Bonnie talking about how we're a standalone organization and we don't get funds from grants or from the government, and he wanted to ask us more about that. So it was interesting.
Yep. And that's good for our viewers to know and our clients to know. It's been a while since we've recorded videos, and we used to get a lot of our funds through yard sales.
Yeah.
Right. And now, as many of you know, and some of you might not know, we have a thrift store in Franconia. Our office is in Littleton, but our thrift store is in Franconia, and that's where the lion's share of our funds come from.
Yeah.
So, like Chuck said, we don't get grants. So we are a standalone organization, and we raise our money in a standalone kind of way. And we're doing a phenomenal job of doing it. The ladies at the thrift store and the volunteers are they're killing it, man.
Oh, and so we went and did that. It was
such a supportive community.
September 20th, I think, is when we went. And I texted you
down, right? Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday. I was like, dude, we're going to get hammered this week.
Yeah.
And boy, did we ever. And we still made time to do that video with Friends of Veterans.
Yes.
And
so it was a Zoom call.
Yeah. And it was really funny because they're like, oh, so how much do you guys spend on clients, a year? And we're like,
direct aid. Well.
And I was like, well,
a lot.
Depends on when you ask. I mean, 4 or 5 years ago, it was maybe $10,000. Now, last year was close to $250,000, and
we're on track for more than that this year.
Yes, absolutely, and it's to really just show how much we're doing to help others, but also the amazing communities we live around that are coming to the thrift store every weekend, and
the communities in our area, in northern New Hampshire. Franconia, Bethlehem, Sugar Hill, Littleton. They are so unbelievably generous and supportive. It still surprises me. It really does. It surprises me to no end how supportive they are, not only financially, but morally. They come into the store all the time, and they tell Jen, they tell Nancy and Gwen, and David and Jody and everybody. They say, we love what you guys do, and why you do it. More importantly, and it feels nice.
And
right?
It's amazing of what we thought was such a kind of an insignificant thing when we started this, and how it would be not that big of a deal, just our little mission and what we can do. And
we didn't know how many veterans there was going to be in our area,
and how many people are on board now. Like how many, we have people from the actual VA or from national organizations.
Yep.
Reaching out to us, asking us to assist with the here and now while they get process started.
The bigger processes, because we're a tactical charity. We move fast, really fast.
And
we provide the help because, like we always say, people need help yesterday. They need help now. They can't always wait for the big organizations to put up the big money. So that's where we come in. We bridge the gap, right?
And I know we don't typically pat ourselves on the back, but since it's been so long, I figure, bring up some of the stuff. But also, we've come in such a way that we represent the other organizations to political people because of them possibly losing a job, and vice versa. Now we were just requested by the Veterans VA chair for the Senate to do a meeting, and so she came out and she did a whole meeting with us and a handful of other small local nonprofits. I was just like,
she came all the way up here. Yeah.
What a difference between day one and 2 days.
When it was like, who are you? And we still get a lot of people asking. We never, who are you? We've never heard of you. We don't know who you are. We're not familiar. And part of the reason for that is because we don't advertise. We're not on the radio. We're not on TV. We don't do stuff like that. And the reason for that is primarily because we don't, and we made a conscious decision for this, right? We don't want to spend our funds on advertising per se, because we want as much of the money that we raise organically to go to our client base, our veterans, our first responders, the community in general, because when people ask us, and very occasionally they do, they say, well, how much of my donation, financial donation or otherwise, is going to go to the veterans? We can say, aside from overhead, which is very, very little, it all goes there.
Yeah.
So, sometimes they ask, well, what's the percentage? It's hard to say. But if I had to guess, I'd say roughly 95% of what you give V2VG goes right to our direct assistance. It goes to our general treasury for direct assistance after overhead of a very small payroll and a very small office supplies, printer paper, ink, business cards, things of that nature. But we don't spend money on advertising.
Even all of that, we try and be as cheap as possible. I mean,
black and white.
Jen has she was being down doors to get the right amount for the rent for the property. She made sure she had a 2-year deal. We're still using printer paper from who knows how long ago.
Well, sometimes we do client cleanouts. If they have printer paper, we just use that. We haven't bought paper for our printers in God knows when.
So it's.
We got our printer and our ink from when we did the Subaru. Subaru New England. They did an event with us. You can see it on our Facebook page, and also on our YouTube thing. They did an event for us, and they one of the, I forget her name, but one of the head women there was like, hey, could you guys use a printer, copier, scanner thing? We said, yeah, that'd be great. She said, we got a bunch of paper. Do you want that? Heck yeah, we want that. It saves us so much money on. We don't go to, very rarely do we go to Staples and run off copies of things. And, we keep costs down whenever we can.
In fact, outside of our semi-annual, pens, cards, pamphlets, the only major purchases we've made in probably the 6 years we've been doing this are the 3 computers for our caseworkers for the office.
Yeah, those
things are different with the store,
and they're the basic model computers. I think they were like $400 each.
Yeah, and again, we had already burned through, I think, 2, if not 3 of our own personals each.
The laptops. Yeah, so I'm still running on one of the laptops I bought, and it's.
And then on top of it, with our special programs, almost zero money comes out of our basic treasury for the STEPN program.
Right.
So for our holiday programs, we do events, we get donations.
Yeah.
With Eyeglass program, we partner with another business. So it really is what goes almost all of it directly to the direct aid and not to some of these other programs, which is...
Yeah, we don't siphon off of these things. And I think it's important for people to realize that. And I know a lot of other major charities and nonprofits and things, they shuffle their money around so they can make it... It's kind of like a statistical graph, right?
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, you can almost make the graph look however you want it to look, sort of. We don't do that because we want it to be as clear as day. We want it to be crystal clear and transparent, which is why we have such a high transparency rating on Charity Watch. Charity Navigator, one of them. We have platinum or gold now. We got downgraded one because I haven't updated our new stuff from our taxes. It's all publicly available information. Yeah, look it up. But the point is, we are who we say we are. And we want that. We want that to be apparent to everybody. And if you have any questions, ask. We're not afraid to tell you because we have nothing to hide.
And
our mission is to help people. That's what we do.
And how far we've come is.
Oh man.
We
were just talking about it with son.
Yeah, but it's absolutely the most rewarding thing I've ever been a part of.
Seriously.
And yes, we've factored in for caseworkers to get paid a very small amount, but
way under the IRS limit for.
I know all three of us would continue to do it at no pay because it's our life's mission, and it's been as much heartache as it's been hearing some of the stories. It's been very triumphant helping some of these people become successful and triumphant and stuff. So
yeah, it's nice to hear the success stories. We very rarely hear the sad stories because, well, frankly, too, when people come to us, we don't give up on them. We tell people all the time, although they are a number because they're a case number,
yeah.
We don't treat them as numbers. We treat them as the people that they are. We've talked about this before. We don't give up on people. As a matter of fact, here's a quick example. We had a client, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, or you will in a second here. We had a client who we assisted. They asked for further assistance. We were unable to assist them further. However, instead of just saying, no, we can't help you, have a nice day, we took it upon ourselves to contact a lawyer and offer the lawyers legal assistance, because we can't do legal assistance, obviously.
Along with two other organizations we hooked them up with,
Right, so although we couldn't, as a V2VG, couldn't help them a second time, we didn't just drop them and say, see ya, sorry. We assisted them in getting further assistance. And we actually said that to the client on the phone. We said, well, we can't help you again, but we were able to obtain further help for you. And they were super happy and grateful for it. And it's looking like it's going to turn out well for them. The second round.
Yeah.
The first round, of course, it was successful.
But, and we get these cards and these calls checking up on us and all these things. It's like amazing to see it because
we got a whole wall.
Yeah,
I love you all. It's just great. It's great.
And they're all handwritten cards saying thank you. It's not like just a generic, Christmas card. Yeah,
which would be fine too, but in this case, they're not. It's more genuine, I would say.
Yeah, and we had one of our clients ended up showing up to the parade in Franconia, right?
Yes.
So, and she got talking to one of our board members and had a whole lot to say. They had a whole lot in common and really enjoyed each other's company and stuff. So those connections are just as important as what we do as far as financially, is the personal connections.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we complement each other. Is me, you, and Bonnie. We have very different experiences, different viewpoints, but the mission stays the same.
Yeah, it's important to remember everybody on our board, the three caseworkers, Chuck as lead caseworker, myself and Bonnie, who's not with us right now, but she's an integral part of our case management team. We all have the same mission at heart. We all have the same goal at heart, and we work together as a team to bring these cases forward to our board of directors. And our board of directors are all mission-oriented people. And we work very hard to keep like-minded people, is that a right way to put it, in our board of directors. And it kind of filters that way through.
And I forgot it, but I did want to mention why obviously anytime you're involved with anything as someone looking for help, you're going to be a case number. And we do that as it's important because our board of directors only get facts. They don't get as much of the meat and potatoes of the story. They really get the facts, and it makes it easier for them to vote without bias.
Yes.
And
they don't know
you
the
know.
client by name; they know the client by number.
And you're the only one of us three caseworkers that can vote, and that's because you are
I'm a
the
liaison
executive.
between
You're
the
the
two.
president,
Yeah.
and but you can't vote on your own motions,
Right.
which is, you know.
Because it would be a conflict of interest. But we have a pretty robust system in place, and we've, Chuck, you and I have worked on that since the beginning,
Yeah.
the very beginning, and we're constantly growing, constantly learning how to do these things. And like we always say, if you're not growing, it's down.
Yeah.
If we're not growing, we're
dying.
dying.
Yeah.
So, I'm really pleased with the direction Veterans to Veterans Group is taking and where we're at, and I'm kind of excited to see where we're going in the future.
And my favorite thing is the fact that within our board of directors and volunteers, we've had little skirmishes, personality clashes,
Sure,
and
yeah.
and things that have been able to get figured out, maybe change personnel into a different place, or whatever, or running a different program, and we haven't lost anybody due to malfeasance
Nope.
or fired. Everybody who's left for their own personal reasons. So it's really great to know how much we've come a long way with each other as well.
Yeah, the people who've left the board have left on their own, or for a variety of reasons, or they left because they themselves felt that they couldn't support the mission. So we've never nixed anybody per se in a mean kind of way.
Yeah, exactly.
So
in fact,
it's kind of worked out.
one
great
of the
for us.
people who have left us is now doing what they can to be a part of it, but on the tail end of things, I guess. So, which we welcome. We're always grateful to have, these options in our lives and a part of the organization.
I always get impressed with this
Yeah, this
property.
view.
All right, folks, we're here. We're talking to him. We'll see you soon.